Now, I released my GTX 580 review very recently. However, there is one game that is, it's of somewhat consequential importance to the gaming world. A few people might buy this game, and it is Call of Duty Black Ops. And so this game was not out until the same time as the GTX 580, which means I wasn't able to benchmark it and release results for it along with my full review. So I am just going to show you guys a quick rundown of the settings, the graphical settings I'm going to be using to test this particular new title. And so I'm going to actually run it with GTX 580 SLI, GTX 580s. I'm going to run it with the 480. I'm going to run it with my 460 SLI setup. And then I am also going to run it with the 5870 and 5870 Crossfire setup. So stay tuned, and you can find out on my particular test platform. So I'll do a quick rundown of that for you guys if you don't already know. I do use a Core i7-875K overclocked to 3.81 gigahertz. I use 4 gigs of RAM, and I use a Cougar SX Series 850 watt power supply. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about this test platform in terms of its performance, so you can compare the numbers. Now, I'm going to be doing a custom run-through where I'm doing a FRAPS recording of about 5 minutes of gameplay. I'll be doing it a couple times to ensure that there's consistency to the results. Although the thing about the Call of Duty campaign is it's very paced because you follow the guy around, so it's very easy to get consistent results. And I'll be using FRAPS to record it, and I'll be giving you guys the average frame rates, so stay tuned. So I'm just doing some gameplay footage of some of the Black Ops, gameplay that I'm using to benchmark these cards. You can see right now I have the 5870 Crossfire setup on the bench. So I'm running it on the 30-inch monitor with the settings that I showed you guys before. Like I said, it's a pretty consistent run through because you can see that I'm following these guys around. So the pacing is about right, and sorry, it's really hard to do these narratives when I'm trying to play a video game at the same time. But there's some pretty good action sequences. There's some grenades that go off, explosions happen, all kinds of good stuff. I'm playing through on easy, and I apologize for that, but it's far more important from my perspective to have consistency in the run-throughs as opposed to having it be challenging and then having my recording stop 4 minutes and 30 seconds in when I have to redo it with that card for that run. So benchmark graphs coming shortly. I'm almost at the end of the run here, so it's from the beginning of the level up until this point, and it should turn off in just a moment here before I get to the end of this hallway. And come on. Should be almost done before I get to the hallway. Come on. Like I said, the run through is very consistent. Yeah, there we go. It's done now. Okay. So it should be fairly clear from the graphs that you've seen that even at 2560 by 1600, so that is the highest resolution of a single monitor that you can pretty much run these days, and with all the details maxed out, I'm just going to show you guys that again, that almost none of these setups were bottlenecked by the video card. Almost all of them ran into an issue where the limiting factor was the CPU, so that's why we're seeing the same frame rate between a single GTX 480 and dual GTX 580s in this game. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is in regular 2D mode, we're not going to run into any differentiation between these cards. However, I have another monitor here, and we're going to be trying this out. So we're going to run in 3D stereoscopic mode, and we're obviously not going to be able to use the ATI cards because right now GeForce is the only solution for stereoscopic 3D in Black Ops. So we're going to run the 460 SLI, the 480, the 580, and the 580 SLI in 3D stereoscopic and find out if we get some differentiation between the cards, because stereoscopic 3D is much more demanding on the GPU than regular two-dimensional 3D graphics. Thank you for checking out my video, and don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips.